We finally have another option for an outdoor camera that supports HomeKit Secure video. Meet the new Eve Outdoor Floodlight camera. I put it through the test and I'm going to show you the installation, all the features, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and hopefully help you determine if this camera would be a good addition to your HomeKit setup. Let's go! Yo, what's up guys? My name is Shane. If this is your first time here, and this channel is all about building an easy smart home using Apple's HomeKit, with new videos published every Sunday and live streams every Wednesday. Now, full disclosure, Eve did send me over this camera so I could test it out and share it with you here on the channel. And Eve has also been a sponsor of the channel before, but this video is not sponsored, and I want to give you my honest thoughts and feedback as always about this thing. You know that about me, but I do like to be completely transparent and honest about all that. So when I first heard about this new Eve outdoor cam announced back at CES of 2022, I got pretty excited, especially because there really aren't many options for a HomeKit outdoor camera, much less one that supports HomeKit Secure video. Works with Apple HomeKit, 100% privacy, replaces an existing outdoor light, 100 to 240 volts, 1080p with 157 degree view with night vision, 3-axis angle adjustment with two-way communication, supports HomeKit Secure video, end-to-end encryption, ensures that only you can view live and recorded video. Just like any HomeKit Secure video camera, you get 10-day recording history when people, animal, vehicles, and packages are detected. You can also configure motion zones, and this will support facial recognition as well. A dimmable floodlight with automatic motion light and light boost. Two-way communication with built-in microphone and speaker. This does require an iPhone or an iPad with the latest version of iOS or iPad OS, a HomePod or Apple TV 4th generation or later as your HomeKit hub. You need a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network, and you will need at least a 50 gigabyte iCloud Plus storage plan or higher. Wi-Fi certified, 100% privacy, no Eve Cloud, no registration, and no profiling. Just like all of the Eve products, this is one of the things that I really love about Eve is their commitment to privacy. And here is a little blurb about HomeKit Secure Video. In a nutshell, your HomeKit hub is what's doing all the processing of that video footage there locally in your house, and the video footage, once recorded, is encrypted and then sent and stored in your iCloud account. Live streams never reach the cloud at all. Your stored recordings do not count against the allotted monthly storage limits of your iCloud plan, which is really nice. For more information on HomeKit Secure Video, you can check out my 101 video that covers everything you need to know about HomeKit Secure Video in greater detail, how it works and all that, which I'll link down in the description below. All right, let's open this bad boy up. We have a little instruction manual with our HomeKit code, 2 Eve video surveillance stickers. Very nice. Here is the camera. Let's take a look at this guy. Has sort of a diffused matte finish over the light, and our camera is here. Here's the wiring. We have 3 cords. We'll get into that in a second. This is for our mount, some hardware for installation, another piece. Not sure what this is, but we'll figure it out. We have a little satisfaction card, and that's everything in the box. This camera is intended to replace an existing outdoor light, so I'm installing mine to replace the lighting fixture just outside my garage door. Eve suggests an installation height of 8 feet and a tilt angle of 30 degrees. You do have some flexibility here with the 3-axis camera angle adjustment. In the setup guide, they have a link to a good installation video that you can follow along with during your installation. It's rated for a temperature range of 4 to 113 degrees Fahrenheit or -20 to 45 degrees Celsius. I'm certainly more concerned with the heat living here in the South, so this should not be a problem for me, but if you live in a place with really, extreme winters, there's a chance this camera might struggle a little bit. But to be fair, this low temperature range is really no worse than any other outdoor cameras like the Logitech Circle View or the Netatmo outdoor camera. A couple of things to note about the installation. First, you're going to want to make sure you have a good Wi-Fi signal at the location you plan to install this. Again, this camera does only work with 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi bands. Without a good signal here, your camera will not work reliably. Secondly, you might want to look closely at the mount for your, current existing fixture. The original installers cut out a pretty big hole out of this vinyl box on mine, and the junction box here didn't have any way for me to install this new camera. So I had to get a little creative here and use this piece of wood here in order to mount the Eve camera. There are some mounting rigs and things like that you can buy from Amazon if you need to. The instructions clearly show which ways are acceptable to install the mount, so I did install mine horizontally. Fortunately, once mine was up there, it barely covered the large hole cut out of this vinyl box, so it did look okay. Sorry, I don't have any great footage here. It was really tough for me to get a good angle because I was up on a step stool. Again, refer to that installation video by Eve if you want that step-by-step, installation guide. I'll warn you, they do make it look much easier than it was for me though. It took a lot of tinkering and adjusting, some cussing, and a lot of sweat on that very hot day in order to get mine installed properly, but once I did, just look at this thing. It looks really nice. I quickly added it to HomeKit using the Eve app, just like any HomeKit accessory. Now real quick, if you have a light switch that controls this fixture, you're gonna want to either rewire it to be always hot or always on, or cover it up to make sure that no one flips that switch off. If that happens, you will lose all power and connectivity to the camera and Floodlight, which is not good. All right, now let's take a look in the Eve app, because what's nice about this camera is that while it still does work exclusively with HomeKit Secure Video, and in the Home app, we do still get some extra features from the Eve app that you won't get in the Home app. First up, if we get to the camera, you can see our camera feed with the push to talk for two-way communication. You can adjust the camera audio settings at the bottom corner, and tapping the little film icon will remind you that recordings are stored and only accessible through the Home app, and they even give you a little button to open up the Home app. You can turn the floodlight on or off here manually, and you can see a little icon showing you the motion settings for the light, which we'll come back to in a second. You can adjust the brightness of the light here. Check this out, if you slide it all the way, you can go past 100% for a boost mode. This super bright boost mode will last about 20 seconds before going back down to 100%. Moving on, you can see all of the motion events that the camera has picked up here. Yes, lots of traffic here in my front yard. Now in the settings, we have the ability to adjust some other things like the sensitivity of the motion detection. The duration is essentially the timeout duration of the motion sensor. Change this from 5 seconds all the way up to 15 hours. This is the amount of time that the camera will report motion as being detected after it has ceased. So this is really nice. You have some flexibility here to play with this and adjust this and tailor this camera to your specific needs and your environment. Lastly, we have the motion light setting, which you notice reflected by that little icon earlier. When motion is detected, it can automatically turn on the floodlight, change it to at night only, on or off. Set the duration for how long the light stays on and at what brightness. And again, you can choose that boost mode here, which is awesome. You can hit people with that super bright light when motion is detected. Great for security. Again, that boost lasts about 20 seconds before going back down to 100%. Over in the Home app, you have all the usual settings and features you get with any HomeKit Secure video camera, such as facial recognition. You have person, animal, vehicle, and package detection, motion zones. You can adjust your streaming and recording options for when you are home and away, and determine what type of motion you want to be recorded, like people or packages only, for example. And you can specify what type of rich notifications you want, when you want them, and all that good stuff. Lots of customizable options here. again, just like with any HomeKit Secure video camera. Again, the motion sensor and the floodlight are both exposed to HomeKit as separate accessories that you can utilize in automations or, however you want. For example, I created a new automation to turn on the floodlight when the garage door is opened at night. So that's nice. So let's talk performance and quality. Again, this is a 1080p camera. Yes, no 2K, no 4K, and frankly, there's no point. At the time of this recording, the max resolution that HomeKit supports is 1080p, and since this camera was designed exclusively for Apple HomeKit Secure Video, there's no need for it to support higher resolutions. I've been very happy with the quality of the camera in the daylight. I'm showing you some clips here exported directly from the Home app. It can actually get very bright in some areas here in this location during the day, but also have a lot of shadows, and I think this camera does a really good job at evenly distributing the light, so the highlights aren't too blown out and the shadows aren't too dark. I know some cameras kind of struggle with that more than others. I have noticed a little bit of skipping with some of the footage at times, which I've seen with other HomeKit Secure cameras also, so that can be a little frustrating. Night vision when the floodlight turns on is real nice. You get that color night vision, but as you can see, you're only going to be able to see so far, with that light, as you'd probably expect, but I do think it does a good job. And speaking of that light, it is a very bright floodlight that is exposed to HomeKit again, so you can control the light separately in automations or whatever, like we discussed. You can control the brightness, but that's it. There's no colors, obviously, and there's no color temperature control either for this. The camera and microphone work very well, in my opinion. I think the audio comes out very clear through the speaker on the camera. Let's talk motion detection real quick. This camera features a PIR motion sensor to detect motion, which is better than many other cameras that use a pixel-based motion sensor. Essentially, that means you'll have more reliable motion detection and not so many false alerts. Not only is this obviously good for recordings, but also great in the event that you want to use that included motion sensor, as a trigger for your other HomeKit automations. It can detect motion at up to 100 degrees, up to 26 feet away when mounted at about 8 feet high. So, what are my thoughts, the overall pros and cons, since I have been using this thing here for a little while now? Since this is hardwired, there's a good chance you'll have a switch somewhere that controlled, that light fixture that was there previously. If that switch is ever turned off, like we mentioned earlier, it will cut the power, leaving you with a no response error to your camera and that light. So you'll either want to wire the switch to be always hot or cover it up so someone doesn't accidentally turn it off. And on that note, some people may have floodlights around the house where, multiple lights are controlled with one light switch. If that's the case for you and you want to wire this up in one of those spots, you'll have to sacrifice those other floodlights, which might not be good. It does only support Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz. Would have been nice if it supported 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, and just able to choose whichever is best. And for me, my biggest problem with this camera was just the installation. Like I said earlier, this was definitely one of the most difficult installations I think I've had to do. So I don't know if there's any way that Eve could have made the installation a little bit easier, but that would have been nice because the installation was definitely not fun on this thing. With that said, what are the pros? What did I like about this thing? Well, like I said earlier, it is nice to have another option for an outdoor camera with support for HomeKit Secure Video. There aren't many options out there. I think the video quality on this thing is very good in my experience. I really like how clean the image is, even with those extremely bright areas and all the shadows, Some cameras, like I said, do struggle with this, but it's never too blown out or anything like that. I do like the fact that this camera works exclusively with HomeKit, meaning there isn't a bunch of other features and other stuff that you get. Eve doesn't have any registration, no Eve Cloud, no profiling, which is awesome. Again, it's exclusive to HomeKit, but they've still managed to give you some additional options in the settings of the Eve app, like adjusting the sensitivity and the timeout duration of that motion sensor. So, that's really great, and that's something that other cameras may not offer. I've found the motion detection and the recognition of this camera to be very good. It picks up people all the time that are walking way on the other side of the street, so they're pretty far away, and this doesn't seem to have any problem with that. The floodlight combo is really great. I like that it replaces an existing light fixture, so you don't have to worry about finding an outlet or weatherproofing it or batteries or anything like that. Constant power is great. Again, you have to kind of check your current situation. If you're on, if your light fixture is on a circuit with other lights, that might be an issue when you're controlling it with that switch. So something to keep in mind there. But overall, I love the floodlight and having it hardwired, not having to worry about any batteries or an outlet or anything like that. Night vision is pretty good, but because of that floodlight that comes on when motion is detected, all my recordings pretty much are going to be color night vision with that floodlight, so that's really nice. I like that. Overall, I'm quite satisfied with this product. Did I answer all of your questions? If not, drop them down in the comment section below and I'll do my best to find an answer. For reviews on other HomeKit cameras, you can check out my playlist right here. And if you're new to HomeKit, check out my 101 Getting Started playlist right over here. Subscribe for new HomeKit videos just like this every Sunday and live streams every Wednesday. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.